No kneel before sword. Terence Stamp died alone on a Sunday morning in 2025. The 87-year-old actor was found in his London flat by a cleaner. He never had children, never found lasting love, and spent his final years on dialysis, treatments he kept secret from the world. His last diary entry was haunting. For decades he dated women 40 years younger only to watch them leave and marry someone else. The man who once had Julie Christie and inspired Beatles songs ended his life in complete isolation. What drove him to such loneliness remains his darkest secret. Terence Henry Stamp was born at 7:10 in the morning on July 22, 1938, inside a hospital just a few streets away from the docks in London's East End. He arrived quietly, but the world around him wasn't going to stay quiet for long. 2 years later, German planes darkened the skies and baby Terence became one of the many children who slept underground every night. His family had bunks along the northbound track at Bethnal Green Station. They stayed there 457 nights in a row during one terrifying autumn in 1940. That time underground left a scar he never quite shook off. He later turned down any film that involved submarines. He once said in an interview that just the smell of diesel in a metal tube brought him straight back to those nights under Stefan. His father, Thomas, wasn't around much. He worked as a stoker in the Merchant Navy, and between 1939 and 1946, he crossed the Atlantic 223 times. He'd vanish for 9 months at a time and show up only at Christmas, smelling of steam and rum. Little Terence would memorize Gary Cooper scenes from old films just to get a nod or a smile from him. That hunger for attention from a man who was always leaving turned into something more complicated as he grew up. He later joked that he got attached to directors who yelled at him, thinking it was some kind of twisted fatherly love. The Stamp family didn't have much. They squeezed into a 2-room flat in Bowen, paid rent that would be just over 40 in today's money. Terence wore shirts sewn from flour sacks. He once admitted he stole tinned fish from a bombed-out shop. Acting, he said, started out as a trick to survive. He'd copy movie stars to get neighbors to give him tea cakes. Years later, when he had a fancy kitchen in Belgravia, he hung those same tins on the wall like little reminders of where he came from. He called it penance decor and said every dinner party began with a confession. In 1945, when a V-2 rocket exploded near their street, it blew out the windows and broke something inside. Terence, too. He developed a stutter so bad he couldn't say his own name unless he tapped his leg to push the words out. For 3 years he went to speech therapy every week and practiced Shakespeare lines in a whisper. That whispering, stretched out speech ended up turning his voice into something unforgettable. That deep, slow sound he became famous for, especially in that chilling line as General Zod was shaped by a childhood bomb. When he made enough money, he paid to renovate the speech clinic and had a plaque placed there that read, "To the bomb that made my voice." 15, he dropped out of school and tried to chase his dreams. He hitchhiked to Soho with barely any money, carrying a worn-out movie magazine and visions of Marlon Brando in his head. Police found him sleeping rough on a bandstand in Green Park and sent him home. He ran away 2 more times that summer. Each time he told the officers the same thing: "Don't take me back. I'm bound for the pictures." His shoes were stolen once while he slept on a bench. Still, when he auditioned for drama school, he showed up barefoot and got the scholarship. Anyway, he was 23 and working for the Royal Mail, carrying parcels around London when everything changed. Director Petarov was casting extras for a film called Billy Budd, and Terence turned up in work boots and borrowed pants. Asked him to read one line. That's all it took. Legend says he whispered to a producer, That's Billy. Within 2 days, Terence had a 5-year contract, a $2,000 signing bonus, and a plane ticket to Malta for the shoot. He'd never faced a camera or had a proper acting lesson, but the director rewrote parts of the script just for him and told the studio to insure him for $100,000. The crew joked that the film's real miracle wasn't the story, it was the unknown kid who landed the lead. When Billy Budd premiered, Terence was just 24. 3 months later, he got a letter from the Academy. He had been nominated for Best Supporting Actor. He was the youngest British actor ever to be nominated, and it was his first film. His salary had been just $84 a week, while his Oscar rival Ed Begley was making a H100 Red grand per movie. Bookmakers offered 7-to-1 odds that Terence might win, and people in London bet around £10,000. Before the event, he didn't win in the end, but the buzz sparked a flood of new drama school applications in Britain. They called it the Billy Budd boom. Still, the awards didn't leave him empty-handed. Just weeks later, on March 5, 1963, he walked up to collect a Golden Globe. As most promising male newcomer, he beat out James Caan, Keir Dullea, and Peter. Oh, the vote was tight. Just 4 ballots made the difference. MGM ran wild with it, putting out flashy posters and seeing ticket sales jump 28% in New York that week alone. Terence was stunned and wired his mom. "Mom, your lad's done it. Brought the Globe home." That little trophy bumped his pay too. His next movie earned him $10,000, more than 100 times what he made on Billy Budd. Flushed with cash and ambition, he sailed to New York and somehow got into Lee Strasberg's private class at the actor's studio. Strasberg didn't go easy. 5-hour sessions, full silence days, and notebook drills where you had to write out your feelings like autopsies. Al Pacino remembered him as the one with laser focus, like he'd swallowed a light bulb. When Terence came back to Britain, he brought all that raw intensity to his role in The Collector. British critics were stunned. He didn't act like the others. He cracked open his emotions on screen.